Welcome, welcome, welcome back to Sports Fist, number one in sports, specifically MMA and professional football. But today, as y'all know, was UFC 284, and what a card it was, specifically, the main card. Yes, in a way, it felt short yet sweet. This is one of those cards where it was just a whole bunch of bang 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 bang, and fights were over like that. Those are we enjoy that, right? That's what we want. At least that's what I want. Obviously, the main event went to 5, but still, that shit was, as I just said, bang 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 bang. Shit was off the heezy, as in even when they were on the ground. That was the third round. But let's start off at the beginning. I'm getting ahead of me, Sheriff. Try to make it short and sweet. But yeah, let's get to the beginning. And Alonzo Manfield versus Jimmy Crute. Rank fighter. This is not rank fighter. Man, Alonso just had him shook is a majority of the time. He had him on the ground a couple, or he had the majority of the time he was just getting shook up. But I feel like man has a jaw of steel as Jimmy Crute. Then there was that situation. I believe it was second round. I mean, the fight could have been over in the first round, but it was the second round. They were on the cage, and I don't know if he kept grabbing the cage or not, as in Alonzo. But then the ref came in, took a point away, and I'm like, shit, that might have just cost him the fight, and eventually it did. Not that Crute didn't have a good end of the fight, but still, I believe he was pretty much robbed of the fight, even though he didn't lose. Me personally, I thought the fight, like I was looking at my phone and everything, I'm like, this fight it's Crute since the point was taken away. But since Alonso did so much damage, he got he pretty much in a way won a draw, even though, a draw isn't technically considered a loss or a win. It's a win in my eyes for him, since me personally, I thought he had lost the fight. So he probably did too, to be honest. After you lose a point, it's just, I don't remember too much fence grabbing. That's why I was kind of like that probably shouldn't have been called. It was a little bit, even though they're trying to cut that shit out, the fence grabbing stuff. I understand as a fighter if you want to be in there, and not that I am a fighter, but I mean I understand. It's just pretty much you don't want the cheat winning in a way, the person that's cheating. But I mean it's happened so much fucking times, and so much fighters have gotten away with it. I guess they're trying to be be a little bit more strict on it, but maybe the ref did warn him. That's another thing, we don't know. They ain't mic'd up or nothing. Even though there's some promotions that actually have the ref with the camera, and I believe they're mic'd up as well. I was actually just thinking of that. I'm like, it'd be crazy in the future, they have, because in a way they really can't mic up fighters. Like that third or fourth round with Volk and Makhachev. I was like, man, I really want to know what the hell Volk is saying, because he was getting pissed off, man. Justin Tafa, Parker, that fight, that one was a quick as well. Justin Tafa, wait, was that the quick one, or was that, am I thinking of a different fight that was quick? No, that was actually the one that was quick. There was something else, but no, that was it. Justin Tafa, there was pretty much really nothing. I believe it was just the left hook. They were just kind of dancing and all, and the left hook, I believe it was the left, or was it the right? Was it something else? I don't see. That's the thing, when I get really excited, I mean excited as in like, the main event just the shit pretty much, and the co-main event is really good as well. I kind of always in a way just forget about the rest of the fight in a way, which kind of bothers me, but still, I believe that was pretty much it for that fight. Same thing with Della Mandela. Okay, let's just go with Jack Della. Him versus Randy Brown. Man, that fight same thing. There was slippage. I believe what was it? Slippage. He got him on the fence. Him as in Jack Della Maddalena. That's how it's pronounced. But we'll stick with Jack. Jack versus Randy. Um, Randy came in with some jabs in the very beginning, and then Jack somehow got him to the fence. I think he had a slippage, and then he had another slippage, but actually it was a left hook that he got him with. He got him on the ground, and he went for a good amount of, I don't know how many, 20 or something. So I don't know. I'm not going to the stats. Let's go to the stats. What total strikes? 18 for 35. I'm actually surprised that Brown actually threw 11. Let's see what the UFC site has. I'm pretty sure they have. I mean, why would they have a difference? But I'm not really seeing their thing. Usually it's. Come on. Where is it at? Results. It says results right here. Getting nothing. Okay. Let's go back real quick. One more try, and I'm just gonna leave it alone and just go back to Google's results. Okay. Post-fight press conference. So yeah, that's happening right now. I don't remember too much important stuff being said. Fuck this shit. Let's just go back to Google's. I know there's a way to do it, but sometimes they get me. Like I said, I'm trying to keep it short and sweet, and I'm out here just bullshit. Whole bunch of bullshit. But yeah, Jack pretty much ended up getting it with a rear naked choke. It looked like at times that him, as in Randy, might find a way out of it, but obviously he would. I mean, obviously wasn't. He just couldn't. Then Jack got the dope. Jack also had the pretty bad weight cut or whatever he was having, because there was an interview. I seen it I thought I'd listened to most of the interviews or post interviews and all that, or pre interviews, but I guess I didn't. Jack had, there was a scene where he was like somebody was saying he was seizuring up or whatever the fuck it's called, seizing up, whatever. No. But yeah, I seen that clip. I'm like, yeah, it looks. His nose is pretty fucked up too. That's that's the other thing. I'm like, damn, man needs nose surgery, but he's in a fight business, so it don't matter. Josh Emo versus Yair. Co-main event, man, that fight was a barn burner. Both fighters went all around. Wrestling game or grappling game, jiu-jitsu game, man. Yair's jiu-jitsu game was pretty freaking legit. Big fans right here, right now. Looking forward to, obviously, Alex versus Yair after that fight. Even though I still haven't gotten over the fact that we haven't had a rematch for Alexander versus Volk. I know we've had the rematch, but I mean, another rematch. But that's mainly because of the what happened in that Yair fight. That fight that barely anything happened. Yair versus Ortega, where was it his shoulder? Something happened with his shoulder. I totally forget what the fuck happened in that situation. But yeah, that, and then Josh Emmett. To be honest, who was it that Josh Smith beat? It was. I'm thinking of Aaron Arnold. No, it's not Arnold. It's Calvin Kattar. Right there. Yeah, the one that went to decision. I thought that he had won, but then I don't know. I, in a way, didn't realize that the jabs. Well, I didn't know that the jabs, even though if they're like clean jabs and all, and they seem more like a significant shot, they don't really count those in a way as a significant punch. So for me, he totally won that fight. And then ever since that, I've kind of in a way been looking at fights a little bit different. Even with this Islam fight, a lot of times Islam was landing a good amount of jabs in that fight as well. But back to Josh Uri. But yeah, but Josh pretty much he also himself had a bad freaking weight cut. So I don't know if that had such a big problem, but I don't know. The man was swinging like he was a freaking animal, and he was looking to take somebody down. But Yuri, Uh, Yuri, is it Yuri? I'm tripping. Yeah, Rodriguez. Am I thinking of another fighter? All right. Uh, but yeah, other than that, the submission. But yeah, he pretty much had the fight, and I mean, him as a Josh Emmett. I mean, it was an all-around fight. You could probably see this in the future, but I don't know how you would see it in the future unless like um, Alexander Volkanovski ends up beating Rodriguez, and they just want to run that one back. But Rodriguez looks like the more dominant fighter. But you know, when you're in the top 10 situation, um, you kind of sometimes have to do a fight like that, you know, just to get back into contention and depending on what the hell happens with Yuri Rodriguez. To be honest, the other thing is in a way, I've lost the majority of the memory for this fight, even though I watched the whole freaking thing. Uh, but that's like I said earlier, when I was so into the Makhachev fight, it's kind of hard to remember the rest of the fights. But back to or in a way back to the Alexander Makhachev fight. 95 for 135. To be honest, it was a third round. They brought up the fact that Makachev had landed more significant shots, and I was like, for me, I thought it was Alexander. But to be honest, out of like most fights, I'm not biased unless a lot of here and there, if it's a Brazilian fighter that I really like or um, just a fighter that I want to win. And usually that, I mean, I don't bet or none of that, so majority of the time that's almost never going to be. I just want a good fight, even though I just still didn't want a good fight. But I did want Alexander Volkanovski to win. The other reason is just he was pretty much the big, in a way, a big time underdog. Well, most people thought, you know. And then also Alexander at the beginning when the fight was first starting to happen, he was so like in a way pumped about it and he didn't have doubt. And then during when the fight got closer a little bit, it seemed like he had just a tiny bit of doubt. But Alexander came in and pretty much delivered, in a way, delivered on what he was saying. Because most people thought that this fight would probably end in a submission or a KO of Alexander Volkanovski. And in the very first round, he showed that shit ain't gonna happen. Because he actually ended up not taking down as in takedown. He ended up shaking up Islam Makhachev. And then somehow they ended up on the freaking cage, and then Islam couldn't take him down, and eventually did take him down. And I believe it got back to the. Wait, is that how that first round ended up? I believe that's how that first round ended up, or ended. Then the second round, I don't know. Most people were saying that who had what is it? I think it was second round. They were saying Makhachev, first round Alexander. Well, that's what I was reading. You know when they have that side thing and it's like Twitter people and Instagram people and all that stuff, saying who they think was winning. For me, to be honest, I feel like all three of the first rounds could have gone either way. Just little stuff. I feel like until it got to the fourth or third, that's when Alexander was like really confident that he can he can deal with the grappling, he can deal with the freaking just pretty much everything. The grappling, striking. I don't know. I feel like Islam's jiu-jitsu game isn't the greatest because there was times where he had. Then again, Alexander's defense is pretty good, really great too. I guess you could say great since these guys are pound for pound number ones, number one and two. Obviously not number one. I still believe that Alexander Volkanovski still stays, or he drops one. He goes to number two since this fight was so close, and I think the cards were kind of a little bit. I think they said it was unanimous, but I don't believe that. I don't know if it's 100% unanimous, but I don't know. In a way, I want to take that back, but I'd have to see the cards actually, see what they had it. Then the fourth round when they were where Islam, in a way, he kind of realized that he shouldn't be striking with Alexander Volkanovski. Well, I believe he found that in the first fucking round, because in the was it second or third, he actually got him down again. He got him three or two times down. That's one thing I had. I was against in a way that I did not like a little bit is whenever him the great Alexander Volkanovski got him down in a way or didn't actually get him down. He should have kept striking or just gone for those, kept his distance. He didn't do that. He would always try to. I don't know what he was trying to do, but maybe he thought he could probably get him in a rear naked choke or just a choke because he would, in a way, he would get in a guillotine situation, but then uh, Islam would Islam Islam would get him in a single leg, and then eventually he'd get him against the fence and just a whole bunch of bullshit. Still, every single the majority of his majority of Alexander fights, to be honest, they're like my top 10 fights. Him Brian Ortega is one of my favorite fights all time, if not my favorite all time fight. Probably my like all combat, just not just freaking Gabagoo, not just UFC, boxing as well. Maybe Tyson Fury Wilder, was it 2 or 3? That was probably up there, but I believe, man, this fight was fucking epic too. I don't know if it gets in that top, but just for everything that was in there, just like I don't know, it was just one of those fights where it didn't feel like it took 25 minutes. Most fights, there's 3 minute, 3 round fights that I've watched, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? This is not no 15 minutes. This feel like 45 minutes, and it's just the excitement and everything for this fight was just that. And when it got to the ring, it was that as well. Well, I wanted to say something about the third round, but I totally fucking forgot what I want to say about that third round. What was it, fourth round? I believe that um, Alexander landed another one. Man, those high leg kicks or high shots to the head, those high kicks to the head of Alexander Volkanovski. He kept getting those when he was doing the switch stance. As in Alexander would switch, Islam would hit them with one of those, which he probably shouldn't have done that. He probably should have learned from the first kick, like let's stop it with this shit. But he didn't, so he kept taking damage from that. Uh, another thing actually, Alexander should have kept doing was the calf kicks, because there was one. Was it third or fourth? Was it third, fourth, or second? I'm getting all my rounds fucking mixed up, you lads. But those calf kicks were working. One of them had freaking Islam's leg like switching up. I don't know what happened to that. Like, did he just that was that not a part of the game plan, or did he feel like he was getting too close when he kept doing that? I know, like when he originally found out, his coach told him, he was like, don't get too close because he's eventually gonna take down, and he would. There was once like one of the cleanest takedowns I've probably ever seen. Maybe it was just paying attention so much to it that it's probably one of the cleanest takedowns I've ever seen. When Alexander looked like he hit him with a right, and then he was about to come with another one, and Islam just went for him like son of a gun. Like I also said, I feel like in a way, I was just watching Alexander at most times, but because I was being a bit biased. I try my best not to. I did want Alexander to win. I don't hate Islam or nothing, and I don't know. Then the fifth round, the very last minute or so, Alexander had him down again. I was like, holy shit, is this Leon Edwards versus Usman all over again? Well, not all over again, because Usman had 100%, you know, he 100% had the game, that fight, and there was like a couple of seconds left. But this was pretty much a minute, and he took him down, and then he tried going for was it rear naked, and then somehow they got onto the ground, and he tried to do the ground and pound, and obviously Islam wasn't going to do it, even though he was shook up. And yeah, I was disappointed in that because I felt like he should have stayed up like the majority of the times. But I feel like if Alexander Islam go again, I don't know. Even knowing all this, I don't know. I might go Alexander just because I want him to win. But in a way, I feel like Islam is, like his coach said, he's just an all around good fighter. He's such a good, he really is an all around good fighter. When he did the switch, he found a weakness in the switch. His ground game, just obviously we know his wrestling game and his striking showed. I seen obviously in that what's his name fight, Oliveira. Now I'm looking forward to both of their next fights. To be honest, I'm looking forward to the Oliveira. Hopefully we might get that. They brought up Dustin, but then Islam was like, "Oh, I want these people to test." That's Andy and you would think I'd go for him since I'm from down Middle East too, but no, you got that wrong. But yeah, he said that he wants these guys to be tested. But I mean, I don't know if you could say that. Alexander could because he's defended his title a lot. This is the second time you've defended your belt. I don't know if you can go ahead and say all that shit. Like whoever's next is going to be next, and you got to accept that fight. I believe. At least that's what I think. Plus, Habib said that Islam is probably going to retire after a couple of fights too, unless. Oh, another thing I heard. If Islam, I mean, Habib said that, and then Islam comes out and says that he wants to get another belt. So he's probably going to go up in weight. So if he's going to go up in weight and try to be a double champ, I mean, that'd be a crazy legacy if he ends up getting another title. Beats a double champ, beats beats another champion in the lower division, obviously, and then I mean that'd just be crazy. Then people would start talking like GOAT status and all that stuff. But he'd have to defend a belt a lot. But then again, for me, it's John Jones. If he beats City and defends the belt a couple times, I mean, kind of hard to beat that. I know the PEDs and all that shit, but it's been a minute since what was it? He had seven or six title defenses after that. But yeah. Sabotage out. It's been fun, lads. Man, what a fucking card. I didn't expect it to be this good. I knew the main event was going to be this good, but the and all that other stuff, I didn't expect it to be that fucking good. Or just all the fucking early wins and early stoppages and all that good stuff. But yeah, Sabotage out, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all have a good one. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your life. Wait until the next fight. Bam. Sabotage out.